This conference will now be recorded.
And this is the Wednesday, May 20th meeting for the Gateway District and Stoneybrook Advisory Committee. In attendance is myself, Joe McCullough, J.T. Thomas, Dennis Lancaster, Thomas Roller, Warren Davies, Angela Sullivan, not absent, but calling in via come to meeting, I think it's called. Go to meeting. There's Virginia Stacy. So all 7 of us are in communication, and Chris Shoemaker is here in office, and we want to thank him for being here. Roll call is good. I want to knock a couple of quick things off, all right? Number 1, we got minutes from the last meeting. Or was there no last meeting?
I have all meeting minutes from March 11, 2020. I just took out the back count.
Oh, the back count. Okay, is that the only copy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a copy.
I must have passed everything around.
You know, there's some, there might be some up here.
You can have that one.
Those are just the agenda and the budget.
No, there's minutes here.
All right.
Here's this.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Has anybody else had an opportunity? I glanced at it when it was sent out originally. I didn't know that anything was going to happen. Anybody have any comments about it?
I've moved to approve the minutes of the March 11th meeting.
All right. Warren Davies moves to make the motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
So then I got Angela's already beat it to it here. The second's all in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
All right, so the minutes are approved. That's one more thing, yeah. Sidewalk cleaning. We talked about this a couple of months ago, very quickly, very loosely. And we're gonna look into it. We got a cost over $15,000, as I recall, to do the whole community, or over 14,000, possibly just under 15, to do the whole community every single time we do it. There have been some in the community who have felt that it's obligation of the HOA or somebody, Gateway, to clean the sidewalks in front of the house. And we have never done that. We've only cleaned the sidewalks and the concrete. We don't really even clean the paved one. In common areas where there are no homes fronting on the sidewalk. And so it has been a bit of a battle, and I wanted to bring it up because there were those who wanted the 004 fund to pay for it. And I went to our documents, and in our documents, I didn't print out for everybody, but if you want to write these numbers down, this is in the Stoneybrook HOA documents that were approved and edited a few years back. And I'll read a quick little thing. 5.5, write that number down, 5.5. Lawns, landscape, and irrigation systems. Except for designated conservation areas, buffer zones, open space, or other similar areas, all areas not covered by structures, walkways, or paved parking facilities shall be maintained by their owners as lawn or landscape areas to the pavement edge of abutting streets, meaning all the way out to the street. If you are on a sidewalk, and it's tough, but you're responsible all the way to the street to maintain that. It is included in the lots, and what happened is, people think that it's common area, functions like common area. It's really a right of way that in this case Gateway owns through our community. And it's more, they own more than just the sidewalks. They also own area adjacent to the sidewalks, landscaping in the road. It's a bigger deal. In any case, it clearly states here that is the responsibility of the homeowner to maintain, right up to the pavement edge of any of the. That's 5.5 in the document. In 5.10, there's driveway and parking areas and garages. And I think this is where some people are confused. In 5.10A, the driveways and parking areas must be paved with concrete or paver blocks or other hard surfaces approved by the association. Maintenance and repair of all driveways, parking, and other paved parking facilities shall be the responsibility of the association. But before, in the middle of that sentence, it says, except driveways serving only one single family home. Now, those driveways and basically are part of the sidewalk in those houses. The sidewalk and the driveway are one right there. And shall be the responsibility only if located in common areas where there's not a house. Otherwise, it's the homeowner that's responsible for that. And there is another place, I didn't print it out, that makes similar references to responsibility, having to do easements across the property. And even if you have an easement across your property, specifically states, and many people who are on the lakeside of their roads have an easement that the drain runs under, even though it's not their property, they're still responsible to maintain that property. It's an easement, just like the sidewalks in easement. With that said, I know that when I brought it up the last time, I don't think anybody here, could be wrong, was in favor of actually putting it in our budget to do the whole community sidewalks. Does anybody have any opinions on that? And I'll throw it out to the floor for discussion. Does someone?
What about people who don't even have sidewalks?
Well, let Virginia, I'm sorry. Virginia, go ahead.
What about the people, we don't even have sidewalks on our street?
Well, I would agree with you, but there would.
I don't think I should have to pay.
I agree.
Now, just to, the last meeting, I think our only motion and real discussion is getting the cost of doing it. We hadn't really gone beyond that because we weren't going to approve anything until we had a cost.
Absolutely.
So and that was the motion we had, and that failed because we didn't have enough people,
Yeah.
so.
But the fact of the matter is that there was a certain sense of how people generally felt about it. There was no vote. You're absolutely correct.
To refer them to 5.5, that states that they're responsible.
Yeah, I agree. It seems black and white to me.
Yeah.
In any case, I want to say this. It doesn't mean that the community down the road won't do it. It doesn't mean that the HOA may decide to pay the money. We have no say in that.
Joe, do you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Margaret. How you
I
doing?
was gonna say, who's that, Margaret?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna make a comment. Go ahead.
And I agree. I don't think that the HOA or the CDD should have to pay for that. That's individual homeowner responsibility. I have a sidewalk in front of my house. I keep it clean.
Mm-hmm.
Can I also add that formal and prior HOA boards have always interpreted that the homeowner has always taken the responsibility to take care of the sidewalks. And also under our docs, under 6.19, the HOA board does make the interpretation of our docs.
Right. They have a wide degree of interpretation. They shouldn't break rules, but they can interpret rules if there's a gray area. In this particular case, I'd like somebody just to make a motion that because this is a budget subject, that's why I'm bringing it up now, because we would have to enter that into the budget if we wanted to do it. I need a motion to say that this committee will not add it into our budget, and we feel that we will not be paying for sidewalk cleaning.
I don't think we need a motion. I think when we get down to talking about sidewalks, if we're gonna do something at that point, but I don't think we need, we're just not gonna do anything. I mean, if you make a motion, that could come back later. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem either way, but I can't see making a motion if we don't need one because we've discussed it and.
Okay, well, yeah, but that's true, but nevertheless, we nail it down. I'm fine with that. If we want to say and come to an understanding that by taking no action, basically in effect, is not approving it and therefore nothing happens.
I think if we vote or we do anything with the road sidewalk maintenance and repairs, leave it the way it is, that's saying it right there that we're not gonna do anything. Because we'd have to increase that up to probably $20,000, and that would be a chunk.
And that's just once a year, because we were talking about twice a year.
Right.
In any case, so, all right, we will not approve the cleaning of the sidewalks. How's that sound?
Yes,
Joe,
that's,
can I ask a question about that also? If you're saying it's the homeowner's responsibility, so then when we get complaints about sidewalks that are raised,
Actually,
You know, it's not, that's something different. It's
Yeah.
the homeowner's responsibility is to keep it, free of debris, oil, or unsightly stains.
correct.
But the repairs is still based on.
The paint and repairs are still us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or, you know, you could say gateway, but right now, the way we're structured, that's still
Yeah.
us.
Let the gateway still be.
I mean, you can handle it still.
And I'm pretty sure the exact way it reads, it says,
Yeah. No, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
of stains, debris, and unsightly.
Yeah, I have it in front of me. If you really want to hear it, but you're absolutely correct.
But the maintenance would be repairs would still fall under.
Like the sidewalk you got, that gateway replaced over on Bluestone. That was a gateway project. That's well above what gateway, that'd be the only thing they would have to do.
It
Is
was a repair, it wasn't.
Yeah. repair a broken
Actually,
sidewalk.
in this one doesn't even say it's just maintain it clean. It doesn't even say the things you're saying. I think that was in another one.
That was in the driveway.
Yeah,
The driveway aspect.
yeah, that's
But
right.
still same. Yeah,
Well,
with
the
the
same as
It fell underneath the sidewalk, it fell underneath driveways, walkways, and sidewalks. Three
You're
different
correct.
things.
No.
And it defines driveways, we know what a driveway is, what we park our car, driving to our driveway to our garage. We know what our walkway is, it's the pavement that goes from our driveway to our front door, we know what a sidewalk is,
Right.
which usually runs parallel with the homes.
And essentially, that was 5.10, and the key phrase there is except driveway serving only the single family home. Everything else is either covered or goes to a common area, and that's not the case. All right, so I'm gonna leave it alone. We've handled that as far as I'm concerned. We'll move on. I will say this, I have already reviewed last year's budget and looking, I came up with some ideas for next year. So revenues are what they are. We'll back into that based upon our needs.
Wait a minute. Are we gonna do anything about sidewalks?
No,
They need to be cleaned.
oh, I know. That's up to the homeowners.
Well, sidewalk on Pebblebrook is
Oh.
a mess.
And it seems like we just got that big.
It's a mess. It's slick and slimy and.
Let me say this, we have, one time we cleaned it this time of year, and then a few weeks later, I remember that some of those trees right along came down and made a mess out of it in no time. I'd like to address that another month if you don't mind, because I think that would be more effective to wait for that holiday.
Since we are talking about sidewalks and Chris is here, the new pad for the lift station, it sits right underneath the black olive tree. I think that, I think the driveway right now is technically orange.
Yeah, it is.
So does that fall on us or does that fall on you?
You know, that actually falls on the 400 budget, does it not?
yeah, that would be a utility facility. I'll ask them about that.
That's what they don't know.
But it's, I mean, those black olive trees, they really.
They're not good to have over cement and driveways, yeah, they're okay over grass, but that's something to talk about down the road, I don't know, not for now.
We might
So,
cut it
Are you
down.
okay with that? We'll deal with the sidewalk next month, because I think that I'd like to delay that cleaning just a little bit, especially if we only may be doing things. And if we do it, we'll probably do the same thing, go down Bluestone, that was 2,500 last year, and I don't see any reason why it should be different from that. All right, so I'm gonna start with expenditures, okay?
What page are we looking at?
Page 1 of this document,
This thing, okay.
okay? Now, mine's marked up already because I have gone through it, but you should have a clean document in front of you, and we also have it on the screen. Payroll and salaries. We actually budgeted for more than what it turned out to be. It looks like the projection is going to be about $5,400. Everybody see that
Yes.
for the end of the year? Give me an answer here.
Yes, right there.
Okay,
It's gonna be 391.
5391, about 5,400. The number there is, that was 9583 for the 2021 budget. I'm proposing that we take that from 9583 down to 5583, which is a little
Before
higher
we
than
do
what we
that,
got.
do we have anyone projected, do we have anything that's projected on this payroll for gateway services that would, of a pay increase or any type of 3%
Well, that,
hourly rate?
I don't,
Because if that is the case,
I think
we need to really look at it.
I know, and that's why we're talking about it. Chris, I don't even know how that number is exactly arrived at, because I know you've hired new people and some are gone already, and you have some rotation. And with all the turmoil right now, do you have any idea what that ultimately may look like?
I'll have a better idea after tomorrow afternoon. Yeah.
I figured that.
Traditionally, they set aside a set percentage for raises, and the board doesn't give cost of living raises. It's usually based on merit. There's over the years a number of employees that don't see a raise because they're just doing the same job. They haven't improved or done something.
Margaret,
So
do you mind, do you have any opinion on that? What do you see that number doing? You know what I'm talking about, right? Hello, Margaret.
Actually, if we just look at the 5,500, which I think is where you're wanting to go,
Yeah.
5,500 at a 3%, just say cost of living. I know they don't do it by cost of living, but to play it safe, is only $165.
Yeah, well, I actually have it at 5583. I'm just changing the first number from 95.
Which number are you talking about?
Sorry,
Expenditures. We're going with expenditures. We're not starting on revenue. Revenue is the last place we go.
Joe, what line is that? I'm looking for 9583 and I don't find it on the spreadsheet I'm looking at.
5583 was for the full year 2021 budget. That
Line 22, if you got the line budget.
Yeah, I don't have a numbered budget.
Oh, okay, you're looking at the total,
Yeah,
9813.
What percentage of the salaries does Stoneybrook or the 04 account pick up?
I really don't know the formula and how they do it. I don't know.
What?
What's the percentage of the salaries does Stoneybrook pick up? Pelican picks up some, probably the 01, all those other things pick things up. What is our percentage of what we pick up?
I don't even know what the salary is for when we're paying $5,500.
Well, what happens?
I know it's a part of, them doing work and doing minutes and all that stuff, but how do they base that? Like, how do they actually calculate that?
I think somehow the board came up in the past with a formula on that. It has bounced around over the years. I don't know if Margaret can answer that or not.
I know they calculated out how many employee hours were used to service the Stoneybrook 004 account. And I'm going to say that I'll look, but the percentage of total salaries and benefits, this is not going to be that great. It's going to be a low percentage.
All right, so if we just take it up a little bit above what the projected total for this year is supposed to be, you're okay with that?
I would think so. Chris, do you have any input on that? I don't think any salaries went up a huge amount.
it
We
depends.
Actually, you know what? If we do the 5391, which we're projected to, what the three.
That's not a projection, that's a variance.
Yeah. Well, if they projected based upon.
Well, the projection is 4286.
Let me see that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Projected.
Projection for the.
No, that's the 2020 projection. Okay, I'm looking at projection versus.
Can you explain the difference, please? Just so I have a better understanding.
Yeah, you're right, Don.
Well, the variance is a difference between your projection.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, and that-
So our projected is actually 42.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and we're looking at 5391 came in under the budget.
You want to do 40, you want to do 45 in play second?
Why did I tell you, we got to come up with some money somewhere, because there's going to be some surprises.
Well, if we do 45, if we do 45, we just came up with $5,000.
Anybody?
You can look at the 2020 budget and the 2020 projected, and there's a lot of difference there.
The actual,
Is way less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, yeah,
$5,000.
Yeah, we took a wild guess last year because we knew they were hiring people we really didn't know.
Right. But it really didn't change they were hiring more people, but in reality, it didn't actually change the personnel that were helping the Stoneybrook committee. So that was why the breakout ended up not costing Stoneybrook as much as it did, because remember, we're paying salaries under the general fund too. So this would only be anything that's associated strictly to help the committee.
Specifically for the, I guess, through this committee in its meetings.
I mean, we could really play it safe, do 4,300 then.
I'll go with 45 around the number. That would be my recommendation.
Now, if we do $129 for the 3% and 4286 would be 4415. So if we want to pick up an extra $100 somewhere, we could agree at 44.
Listen, $100 ain't gonna make much difference.
More to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think that's well
So
said.
$4,500?
Yeah.
All right, the 45 instead of 95.83.
I just want to point out to you, the projected, you're going below the projected for 2020.
No, the projected's 4286.
Projected 42.86.
On
Yeah.
mine, the projected says 5833. That's why I said that.
where'd you get that?
5391.
Well, no, we were looking at 5391, but Tom corrected us because we were looking at the variance, which would be the difference
Yeah,
between what the projected and what we budgeted for. And I wasn't even thinking of that.
yeah. That was an error on my part too. Let me say this, we can come back and change it. Right now, 4,500 I can live with. And there are a couple other things here that we're gonna have to move around a little bit.
I want to point out to you that the projected is higher than what you're putting in for the budget.
No,
And
No, it's not. No, it's not.
not on my spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Our projected says
4286.
286.
yeah, the actual.
Joe, I'm looking at the spreadsheet that Stephen Bloom sent to us late this afternoon. I don't know what spreadsheets you're looking at, but that's not the numbers I have.
It has two numbers for projected, one for through March 2020, which is 2143, and then a projected from April to September, which is 2143, which gives us a projected for 2020 of 4286, which gives us a variance of $5,300 or $5,400. That's all on that one line.
Joe, have you pulled up the spreadsheet that you got emailed?
She has a different spreadsheet.
Yeah,
Let me
We
see.
have different spreadsheets. We don't know what you're looking at.
Let me see. I did call it up, but I don't have it up there right now.
Chris, are you getting what Margaret's saying?
Yeah, I guess she said she got a spreadsheet this afternoon.
Yeah, she was checking it out because it could be edited. What is that spreadsheet through, Margaret? Is that through March 31st, or they updated it to the end of April?
What she's using.
What Stephen sent just says 2020 projected.
Could you email that to me,
And
Mark?
Huh?
Doing it right now. Okay.
Could you email that to me? To my personal
Yep.
account? You have my personal account?
I
I'll
think
text it.
so. You can text it to me.
All right.
Margaret, what number do you have again? That you're seeing?
I have got I see what you're looking at. Man, that's a lot lower. That's through March. See, your projected though, your 2020 projected is 6664 on the spreadsheet that I'm looking
Oh,
at.
that's the total of everything. Then we're looking at line 22, which is just payroll salary.
I figured it out. 4381.
she's looking at the bottom line there where it has total operational expenses.
Oh, you're going line by line. You're not doing,
Yes.
We're looking at line 22.
Look at total.
Yeah, we're gonna go line by line.
Okay.
And maybe you're smart about doing this bottom, because really these things are beyond our control and not big. There's maybe one here I was looking at.
okay.
So,
So,
yeah, we're okay with 4,500, really, yeah. That's just strictly for payroll and salaries. Now, we have other things here, payroll taxes, retirement benefits, health and life insurance. The only one about health and life insurance, we may want to lower that, because that was 2614. It's projected at a much lower number. Projected for the total year of 776.
Not just a percentage, though.
Yeah.
But the actual.
So,
I don't know about health and life insurance being that way.
Well, that's questionable.
Maybe, but not that.
Depends on how much the CDD is paying for all of that stuff.
Yeah,
I
we had a,
Insurance is
Some
going
of
up.
that may
For-
be the responsibility of the employee too. I don't know.
Well, some of it is, but they pay it out.
So we got $1,838 variance. And I really, and the thing projection here is 2547. I think
it's budget.
That's the,
line item payroll salaries, what was the amount you wanted to put in?
4,500.
Okay,
And the district's health insurance plan for its employees went down $7,600 this year.
Wow, nice job.
And we're
So it
with a
would,
projected of 77.6.
So projection 776, and next year's budget is, what, almost 4 times that?
Yeah, 3.5 times.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's one number we gotta lower that one down. And how's $800 sound?
Yeah, because the actual is 690, so I would go higher than that. For 2019.
All right, is your,
Yeah, but almost we're about 2019. I know what you're saying. 690 is the changes, but we're looking at the projection for 2020 right now. We're 6 months into this year. So anybody 800 okay?
Yeah.
You hear that, Margaret?
yep.
All right, what did you put down for payroll taxes? Just leave it at that number and whatever, or you want to lower that a little bit?
I didn't change it.
Well, it's good.
I mean, taxes have gone down under
Yeah.
Trump's plan, so.
Those are gonna be a percentage of the 4,500.
I agree. I agree.
It's gonna be half of that.
So 400?
Yeah, let's make a nice round number, 400.
On what?
733 down.
Payroll taxes. And 800 on the retirement benefits, and you got retirement benefits, health insurance, 800. Retirement benefits, I have no idea.
150.
Really? 150? No
Come
kidding.
on, half the 287.
Yeah. 150, everybody?
Yeah.
Got that, Margaret?
Yeah.
For retirement benefits?
It's only 66.
No, what was it?
Retirement benefits. Dropping
amount?
that to 150.
I'm sorry?
Retirement benefits, dropping that down to 150.
Okay,
Life insurance, you got that already down to 800.
while we get down to insurance, is there insurance for those of us on the board? The public officer insurance?
You mean for us?
Yeah.
For us?
Yes.
It would be under an umbrella policy for.
Gateway would have to have that, I believe, though. I don't think that the D&O at,
No, it wouldn't be for Gateway. It wouldn't be for Stony Brook. It would be for Stony Brook.
yeah.
We have it for all of our employees and the board of directors.
Well, that, I was just looking for us here, since we're with Gateway, and does Gateway pick up that cost for us being on the board for liability issues, et cetera?
I guarantee it has to be.
Well, yeah, but I couldn't find anywhere where it says that or what the cost is.
Real quick question, Chris. I don't know if you answer this or not. Warren brought up the issue of, as the committee members for Gateway, do we have any liability insurance through Gateway to protect the members of the committee?
And I'd have to look at that. I know the board does.
Yeah.
If there an errors omission,
At the HOA, too.
but I'd have to find out.
Check that out and get back to us.
Now, according to the contract we have, the MOU that Gateway and Stoneybrook has, it says in there that the association will purchase comprehensive liability insurance, so it includes Gateway services. Does the HOA have that coverage?
I assume if they're required to, that they would, it would name
Says in the
the
contract.
district as additional
We just started our
insurance.
policy today.
Insurance. The association shall procure at its expense at all times, include the district as an additional named insured on comprehensive liability insurance policy to cover the operation and maintenance responsibilities set forth in the agreement.
So we would need to be named as an additional insured on your policy.
Yeah, on your HOA policy.
Well, that's something that I've been working on, so we'll have to get that corrected.
Yeah, I gotta say that you do have it for Gateway, but I don't think it itemizes the committee. I'm pretty sure that for the road down there, we hold them harmless.
I don't think it has to be for the committee, no.
What's that?
It don't
Yeah,
have to have it for the committee.
we might need to talk about that, yeah. All right, let's catch there, Warren. All right, let's keep moving. Engineering fees. Workman's comp, all right, that's like a number, depends on what employees you're talking about, because it varies usually from office staff to guys working outside. That's something that's straightforward. They have many types of employees, and I'm telling you, it can go from 50 cents an hour to $10 an hour.
Put down 200 then.
I'd be fine with that.
Okay, everybody?
Mhm.
Do we have any projects going on for our engineering? Leave it at 500 or put it at 500?
I was ready to knock it down to 0. I don't know what it is.
I probably would have went there too, I just didn't want to say it. Do we have, I don't think we have any projects that are.
The way they charge, it's kind of hard to see what percentage we would have anyway. When you
Yeah,
look at their
let me say
project.
this, and remember, we have a revenue reserve we drilled in for $10,000. And on the balance sheet, it actually costs, it calls it, it has a name for it. That could meet the requirement for something. We have accumulated money there, there's, looks like, this is not here it is. About $99,500, capital project reserves. And if we were doing capital projects, that's about the only time I think I can imagine us using engineering.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have to be for a gateway project, which we know if we going with those other folks. Can't think of their names, but they.
Well, if we do remove it, I still want to keep it as a line item, so next year we can look at it again.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a valid point. Don't remove it, but bring it to 0 for now.
And if you had a project.
Sorry?
Or you want to make it, or you want to make it, or you want to make it dollars, so we can make sure it stays on there.
No, they don't keep it at, we've had things stay 0 and stay. It's
Okay.
happened in the past.
I just don't want them to
It
remove
was
it.
0 and 19,
It was?
or the bid.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
All right.
And we bumped it up to 1,000 just for, I don't know, 3. Attorney's fees, who knows? It was 1,000, because we spent 480 in 19. Maybe we could just leave it at 500, how's that?
I leave it out. One project and you're gonna
Yeah.
suck that 1,000 up in a
Well,
hurry.
let me say this, and you might be right. The attorney that I believe this money would be paying would be Tony.
Right.
And if we were to do any other things with attorney, I'm sure we'd go to Darren. And I would think that the HOA responsibility for the rest. So if you can leave it at 1,000, I'm fine. And if anyone
No, either
has
one,
feelings on that,
Either one, if you get into something where you need an attorney that bad, $1,000 isn't gonna be that much.
No, I know. I know. So what do you think?
Leave it at 1,000.
Well, I'm sorry, Virginia, did you say even at 1,000?
I would.
Okay, everybody else okay with that?
Mhm.
Sounds like a plan, thank you. You got that, Margaret?
Yes.
Okay. Landscape services.
So did you left the engineering and the attorney both at 1,000?
No,
No,
engineering, we got rid of the zero.
what's zero on the engineer?
Why?
Because we have anything that would be done would probably be a capital project, and our surplus is actually called a reserve for capital projects. And I don't see why we couldn't pay for that out of that. We spent nothing this year with the engineer.
Do we know what our new total is?
We spent nothing last year with the engineer.
Total is $7,050.
I'm just thinking, we're gonna have that sidewalk repair and other things, and it's possible you might have.
I don't know if we need engineering expertise on that though. Yeah, we'll be talking about that as we get down here.
If we do a project and we need an engineer and we use the current one the Gateway has, $1,000 won't even get them in the door.
I'm just suggesting that removing it completely might not be a good idea. That's all, just a suggestion.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. Margaret, we're gonna have to disagree with you on this.
It's okay, I get the final say.
If that's gonna be the case, you would ask you to excuse yourself from the meeting so we can get on with it.
Just teasing,
Make it
just.
zero. We're going with zero. The last 2 years is enough for me, and there'll be surplus. All right, going back to utility fees.
So you said it was 7,050?
$7,050.
That was your sub?
Yeah.
All right, well, Margaret probably should have that.
She hung up on us.
I didn't, I'm still
Still
working on this, sorry. I'm
All right,
Oh, there was my other thing.
utility fees. 2019 was 2628. This year, and we went with 26 as a round number. This year, it looks like 32. And I don't understand.
How come so much more?
Oh, well, that's where I'm going. Why would that be? Because isn't that a fixed amount based on the number of poles, or is this utility?
No, this is,
other things?
this is basically irrigation.
No, this is more than irrigation. This
No,
is
well, it might be more, but according to Infomart, irrigation takes up the most cost on it. Because you have other electrical stuff here that covers the sign pole or the electricity for the
string
pole.
lights.
Yeah,
So we spent $32,000 on, or it's projected.
Basically, yeah.
Well, one of the things, this could be one of those deals that we're entering into a period of time, hot, wet season, and maybe they shut it off and it just is, it's overstated for the second part of the year.
well, they're projecting 26,000, and with the new rates and stuff we have with irrigation within the system,
No, but
I'm
this
sure
is-
we're getting charged
It was
those rates.
26 and 19.
I'm sorry?
It was 26 and 19.
26 and 19.
Yeah, now
Yeah,
we're
and it's
looking
20,
at-
and the FY budget that they're projecting is also 26.
So you're telling me this is, I don't understand how we're paying that much money. Now, landscape contractual services is one thing, landscape repairs, irrigation repairs, and that's how.
That's the utility fees. That's because of that's the $4 tier that we get ourselves into once in a while.
Yeah.
That we've been
Yeah,
talking
that's-
about for the last.
Yeah, but
4
keep in
months.
mind, that problem we had with that is not the 004 budget, that's HOA.
No, well,
it's
no,
still- we're still
but when
getting-
you,
We're still getting watered when we do the Stoneybrook.
yeah. And they,
Which,
if we're
yeah, you're
paying the
right,
same
you're right.
rate, if we're paying the same rates, it's gonna be that high.
And I have a note to myself, cut down on the watering, recommend to board, I'm gonna tell you right now, not just cut down on watering, We looked at this some years ago, and maybe it's something to revisit with these new bills about rebuilding the irrigation system.
Yeah, I was on that committee.
And
I wouldn't mind having a computer thing that, like the other night, I walked down to the clubhouse, it's raining and the sprinklers are on.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, why can't we just have a button and turn that thing off for a day?
it's true, but we
Or
waste
skip it.
so much water along Pebblebrook, it's ridiculous. And with the new types of heads they have, that more localized and more precise where they put the water and at the same time use less water.
Or we look at adding an
I think
extra,
with paper.
or we look at adding an extra 2 meters.
If that's, I think cutting in half would be big.
Now, do we, are the irrigation things here, are they on a meter and we pay off the meter the same as you do
Correct.
elsewhere?
Yes.
And,
Okay.
and if you looked at your irrigation schedule, the schedules you're operating now, it's just like JT said, if you had a rain sensor shut off or you just changed it seasonally, change those clocks, it would probably save you 30%.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm sure your landscape company isn't going out, twice a year and changing all your
Well,
clocks.
we've got a new landscaping company right now for
Well, this is.
our
this is
HOA, but
still
this is
landscape.
your guy.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
mainscape.
I really want a radio control system for both the gateway services, part and also the HOA, so we can skip when it rains for, 7 days straight.
I think, yeah, there was a proposal from somebody said
I
something.
control mine from my house, and ever since I got in that tier, I've really controlled it. My grass is green and it's done very well.
I think that's something for the board to consider for everything else, and
Well, we
maybe
also
we
need to
can
look
look
at
at
it too
this
here.
here too.
We need to look at it here too.
Yeah. Well, that might be a capital expense to be considered down the road and be tapping into the $99,000. I don't think it'd be that expensive, but it wasn't cheaper.
And all we're doing is changing the control panels.
Which is
One
what,
of the 100 control panels.
$10,000, I think,
Oh, not even that.
for the new high-tech ones, it's not that much.
No, it just needs to have Wi-Fi or some type of radio, they have radio remote controls that will feed off of an antenna.
Also, well, yeah, and it has been right here, but I do believe that the second half of the year, I mean, June through, let's say, October, is pretty well, and we'll be using all.
They
that
should turn it
water.
down
Yeah,
seasonal.
and they do. So, you want to keep it 26, 28, something like that?
No, we have to increase it. I don't want to, but we have to.
All right, 30? That's high though.
Lord.
That's a lot of money.
What are you increasing it to?
Well, I'm throwing numbers out. In this document, it uses 26. And
Right.
I'm thinking about maybe going 28, but the other chance is to go 30. I don't know. It's a lot of freaking money. I don't know. We can cut down on that usage.
Yeah, the projected, they're talking about 32,000.
Yeah, but that 16 in the second half, I don't believe.
And some of that time,
Pass.
how long there between the loop on Pebblebrook that it wasn't working? And it goes all around where some of it isn't working, so there's no water going through the meter to do that stuff, so.
But I do know factually that during the wet season, they don't.
Yeah, well, yeah, they do.
So that 16, I don't believe that.
I would feel comfortable going to 30. I don't want to go up $4,000, but man, with this new tier, it really.
I know, it's ugly.
And their rates went up too.
And that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Any opinions on this 28 versus 30?
Either one, I agree with JT.
It
It's
seems
got
like
one,
JT is strong on 30. Tom, any,
Well, if we're not gonna manage it, we better go higher. Better go closer to the projection for this year.
okay, let's go with 30. If we don't use it all, we'll have surplus.
And if I may interject, April is one of the driest years in a drought. We still are, so the systems were probably running more than usual.
I agree.
And also due to the roundabout utility construction and utility relocation that could approach $1.8 million, that'll be a pass through to the customer and you'll see your rates go up.
Thank you.
Is that what that new pump is in there?
No, that's part of the
No, this
irrigation
is
system.
because they.
No.
No, I'm telling you, this is because they're going with a roundabout rather than a traffic light. It's going to take substantial plumbing work underneath the road to make this work.
And let me add a little fact in there. The traffic light would actually increase the utility relocation costs because there's turn lanes. And the turn lanes would cover some of our piping, and you can't have PVC piping under pavement unless it's shielded.
So that was not said originally. I did not know that.
No, and part of it too is the infrastructure on that corner is twice as complicated as what was down on Commerce Lakes, because that's where everything in Gateway comes together, heads up Griffin, the wastewater plant. And so all our major utilities and double lines are in there. And it's all original infrastructure to 1986, 1988, and needs to be replaced. None of the valves at that intersection function and need to be replaced. So it's a cost that would probably come up sooner or later. And the last thing you want to do is put in a new road, pave it, and have your utility lines break.
Which is what always seems to happen in most municipalities.
Right, and Mr. Tinkle made a point about ductile iron pipe in some of the areas that we have that we wouldn't need to replace it. And I said, Mr. Tinkle, that's that same ductile iron that 6 months ago blew out the front of Gateway Greens and spewed raw sewage all over your entrance.
Did he drop that?
Well, he agreed, but you know, it's going to be a cost whether you do a roundabout or a stoplight, and the stoplight will actually increase those costs. And the only thing I've said to people is there's 13 utilities operating in Southwest Florida, and Gateway's at the bottom of the rates. So if we have to go to 11th or 12th to keep the infrastructure in shape, I'm really not up for apologizing about that. Because
I know you're at the lower end, not the lowest anymore, I don't think.
Well, we are at the lowest.
Are you really?
Yes, yep, right there on 12th and 13th, or, you know, so.
What about when you factor in the fixed costs, just for being hooked up?
Same thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we look at
Because
that.
that went up again too this year.
Yeah.
$62, I think it is, every 2 months.
Yeah, depending on the meter
So-
side.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly, I'm sorry, I finally got to where I was able to manipulate this spreadsheet well. I just want to make sure that I have the right numbers. Payroll
Yes.
salaries was 4,500.
Correct,
Payroll taxes, 400.
correct.
Retirement benefits, 150.
Yes.
Yeah,
Health and life insurance, 800.
Yes.
yeah.
Workers' comp, you left at 325.
Oh, 200.
200 went to.
Okay. You removed the engineering but left the attorney.
That's correct. Tony will be happy.
Yeah, Tony will be happy. So that came to 70/50.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I was on board.
Yes, we're doing
And
good.
then utility fees is
Services, we just.
30,000.
30,000 for a utility fees.
Gotcha.
Landscaping contractual services. This is the one I didn't want to just get a little sidetracked there, but I do want to talk about this a little bit. Because right now in our community, we're using a different company. I guess what we should be doing is really talking to the board. How are they doing?
I think they're doing really well.
How does the cost compare to Mainscape?
Right now, cost is a lot less. I think we went into contract at 92, and I think the original was 116. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Don't please don't hold me on the numbers.
Mhm.
But I do know they're catching a lot of things that were broken. That Mainscape never came back and really told us about our sprinkler system.
Yeah, I know. On sprinklers, they're weak. I agree. They lost people and had turnover, and they don't do
So
a good job.
they're fixing a lot of things that really should have been caught a long time ago with Mainscape. In fact, I wouldn't mind reaching out to this committee and looking at maybe.
Which is where I'm going.
Right.
Chris, would you have a problem if down the road we decided in mid-contract, I don't know when the annual contract renewal is off the top of my head for Mainscape, do you know?
I think it's in December, but I double check.
Would there be a problem if mid-year we decided to jump ship and go with a different company?
What's the name of this?
No, because those contracts are all written with a 30-day cancellation, or, you know, we can amend it.
But I'm asking you and Gateway in general, would that be thorn in your side if we did something.
I think we have to support whatever decision Stoneybrook makes.
I think the contract is one contract with Mainscapes, but Stoneybrook
It's
can be
its own
pulled
contract.
out without any problem.
That makes it easier. That was my concern. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure about that. Okay.
I got a
I
copy.
think they're actually separate contracts.
That's
They're
what-
awarded and bid all at the same time, but Stoneybrook's contract is actually separate.
And we actually broke that contract out the last time to separate the soccer fields and athletic field and the swimming pool, because before it was all just lumped into one and we couldn't discern the cost between the different facilities in case we wanted to go out to bid.
Makes sense.
Then my suggestion would be to go with the same budget number we used last time.
Leave it the same.
116 to 121, you can make it 116 flat, I don't care. And who knows, if we do make a jump, then in fact, that could be higher than what,
Well, I would say if we're gonna leave it at 116 flat, then we really need to concentrate on making that jump. Because contracts only go up in price, they don't go up or down.
I agree. But it sounds to me like we're not happy with what Mainscape is doing right now.
What's the name of this company?
Well, I just want to throw this out here because I've been watching all the additional invoices that have been coming from Land Care. And
Yeah,
we're not paying them as much for the general contract, but there's a lot that they're bringing up that is extra, that we're paying extra for. And granted, some of it, like sprinkler heads, I agree, we would have paid Mainscapes for those anyway. But some of the contracts, the proposals that they are bringing are quite.
Low to get the door.
Well, they could have, yeah.
I think it's too soon to say that we would want them to do Pebblebrook. That's my personal opinion. JT could feel completely differently. And if you went out to bid, I think you'd want to bid it out to more than just them. I'd also say that.
The only invoices that I'm seeing is a lot of just the sprinkler repairs. Things that like Mainscape really should have caught before Land Care. I haven't really seen much additional though. I mean, I could be wrong.
How about the proposal for the ball field for $32,000?
Well, that was, 40-something thousand. I think that might have been a board member attempt.
Gee, who could that be?
And I think when you get a new company come in after Mainscapes to Lawn Care, their first couple months, they're gonna be out there correcting everything and you're gonna pay for it. But then down the road, it's not gonna be. It's like when we did our roofs, the contract we have with our roofs, they charged us a higher fee the first year, but then they cut it in half for the years after that because they had it under their control. I think that's why these companies do. They got it now down the way they handle it. And it costs you a little bit more to get started, but as time goes on, the cost should come down or balance out to whatever the contract is.
So Margaret,
What I'm saying is it's too soon to know whether this is going to be ongoing or if this is just playing catch up.
Well, true.
well, then you want to leave it at 118 then?
What, you mean 116?
I'm actually jacking back up.
Put it back up?
Yeah.
If we leave it at 118, I mean, I still think we should bid out, include Mainscape.
Oh, I agree.
We always, because they can come back with a lower bid, but contracts don't go down.
I know. You gotta ask for it. You don't ask, you don't get. I know. I get it. All right.
But
so
what number are you putting in there?
118, I think. Everybody all right with that?
Yeah,
118 flat?
yeah.
We'll try to make it easy for you, Margaret.
My little fingers are typing as fast as they can.
Okay. Landscape repairs. What does that mean? Irrigation repairs are right below that. They were.
Landscape repairs would be replacing trees,
Is that?
Shrub.
but
Shrubs that die.
those invoices that would distort this figure, so.
Because we have a plant replacement program here. which
Yeah,
we-
but this is probably more like sod. And if they do have a plant replacement, then
Okay.
that requires mulch and there's other things that,
Well, a lot of that the previous year was probably after the hurricane. Well, actually, it's not even anything the previous year we were anticipating. But we spent little or nothing. You want to knock that down? It was 3,000 was budgeted last year. You want to knock it down to $1,000? Anybody have a problem with that?
Well, we spent some this year. We have a projected of 2,500.
Not for your.
I,
We haven't spent it yet. Then why are they bumping for the second quarter, or for the second half of the,
They expect we're going to do some landscape practice.
Probably have something in mind.
I think some spotting but they're waiting for rainy season to really kick in because you don't want to be watering sod replacement every day.
I'd be fine with 1,000.
So how do you feel about 1,000 and everybody else? And
That's, yeah.
that's good? All right, let's go with that. We'll do that.
As a user, you don't know what it is.
You mean to see what it is?
To see what it needs to be, what kind of landscape repairs we need.
Like, why did it go to 2,500 for the next fiscal or for the next
I mean,
6 months?
but, I'm sorry, what's the lady's name?
No.
In charge of that.
No.
She was here every meeting and we talked about doing things. Now she's no longer in charge of that. Nobody comes to the meeting and talks about it.
I agree.
Does that mean nothing's happening?
Well, looking at the amount of money we spent on, we have spent on
Well,
plant
she did a lot,
replacement.
she did a lot of replacements, so the plant replacements.
Yeah.
Just call our number.
So landscaping, and I would thought
See what it's
landscape
about.
repair would be the same as landscape plant
Well,
replacement.
you think that's under plant, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and irrigation repairs, I'd probably leave that where it is.
What happened to landscape repairs?
I'm actually thought that we decided to make that 1,000.
But I think Tom was one of the second guess that to see what this $2,500 could actually be.
Yeah. But if nobody has anything in mind,
I don't have anything in mind, and I do want to say, plant replacement, we got a lot of money.
I mean, can you throw sod as plant replacement? I would assume so. It is a plant.
The
I
one
think
thing
you
that
want to break that out because you want to know what you're paying for in plants and what you're paying for in
Yeah, I
sod.
agree with that.
God,
You know, landscape repairs could fall under tree service, cutting down some of those.
No,
plants.
I got some questions on tree service.
Yeah, that's another subject.
Okay.
There's a contract between Gateway and
Can we
Anchor.
figure out what's going on with landscape irrigation and we'll do the contract?
Yeah, let's get to that in a minute.
Okay. I thought he was already talking about it.
No, all right, let's leave irrigation repairs at 13.
Right.
Leave the other one at 1, if that's okay with everybody.
you know, late 13th.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially if we start doing some work on it.
Well, that would be the capital improvements, I think, if we really do some replacement. And then the other money could be used, some of it could be used.
The plant replacement for right now,
Yeah, plant replacement, we've done so little this year. There's, we budgeted $22,000 because we had spent so much the previous year after the hurricane fixing things up. We haven't spent much of anything according to this.
does anyone have off the top of their heads anything that's going on that we've noticed, that anything that's dying or?
Well, we had a couple of things that we had to replace at no cost because the plants died. We had the palm trees at our end that were damaged with, one anyway, when they did the lake. And there are other plants that died, were still under warranty. And we didn't get charged for it. So,
I would caution you to lower plant replacement a lot because we don't know what hurricane season's going to bring.
That's
And
right.
we have a lot of plants in the community that are old and are going to die and are going to need replacement.
I put it in at 20,000.
I agree, let's do 20.
20, okay. Good. I was going 15, but you want to go 20, I'm all right with that. You all right with that?
Why not 18? The market does make sense. A lot of our plants are old, but we don't know what.
Let me say this, We've got $15,000, and in fact, we've got more than $15,000 right now we can use, if you want to do that, and not even be a factor for next year's budget. You see what I'm saying? We budgeted for $22,000, we want to use the 175.
You got till September 30th to try and get replacement on this year's
A
budget.
lot of damage and replacement.
Oh, we've only used $175 out of $22,000?
Yes, that's my point. So we got a lot of money sitting there. If we got things that need to be done with the road plants or need to be replaced, there's money there to do that right now and do it before October 1st.
And this is a good time to do it because, right, you know, like June 1st,
Coming up.
when you want to do it.
So I don't know if we need to go 20, but if you want to, it's fine.
No, knowing that we only spent 75, we do have a month that we can actually spend and get some.
Because we don't have anybody managing it.
You know what, Chris,
You're right.
can you talk to
You're
us about that with L, like, do we?
Well, Elk's not a factor anymore.
Well, I know that, but who's?
No, Glenn's taking over the landscape and taking over the supervision of mainscape and rides with them and does that end of it. And he's out riding with them on a weekly basis.
Can we ask Glenn to give us some kind of little report if he has some ideas for us to consider, take a look at?
Yeah, I could ask him when he ride around.
You got
take a
the
look.
money to spend before October 1st.
Okay.
This is probably the time.
Tom said there's a palm tree that needs to be taken down.
Going up across from Gemstone. Or right in that area, on that side of the street.
Yeah, there's some empty spots in the hedges.
Right, there you go. There's what? Empty spots and hedges.
You want to leave it at, just do 15, 16?
I think 15.
I think 15, just like I said, we got a lot of them. Because even if we spend 15 this year, it's still a surplus of 68, 66 here. And, you know, there's money there to be spent if we want. That's already been budgeted.
Well, okay. Mhm.
You're talking about for this year.
Yeah. If we need.
I understand you got the surplus from this year. The surplus that you're talking about is the total surplus, correct?
No. The surplus of 68, 66 assumes we're gonna spend 15. And we've only spent 175 so far.
Okay, all right.
What happens to all the surplus that we have?
It goes in the general, it goes into the bottom line surplus.
It goes into the general
Rolls
fund?
over in, not general fund, no, rolls over, it stays in the 004.
Okay,
That's my understanding.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It goes into that little bottom, at the bottom
Yeah,
line.
right, okay. I want to make sure of that.
Yeah, no, that's what it works. In
I
fact,
don't want to give any money back if we don't have to.
I remember we had to request some special consideration after the hurricane last year. We had so much damage. We did bring some money to move it around.
So in the 004, it's labeled as plant replacement when the surplus gets spent,
It's not labeled as plant replacement, no.
just under landscaping.
No, it goes
General fund.
and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, it's my understanding it goes into that bottom line number on the balance sheet.
Yeah, balance forward.
All right, so 15,000 for miscellaneous maintenance, what are we looking at? And what is that?
Is that the Arborwood concrete contract?
Well, I don't know if that's where they pay our tree service out of. There's a contract between Gateway and Anchor, and the costs are broke down to, Gateway pays, about $50,500 for tree service from Anchor. And our portion or our bill is $8,300, and that's where we get the $691 that we pay every month.
Well, divided by
And
12.
there's nowhere in our budget where we're paying that. And my question would be, is that something that we should be paying?
You know, maybe you. Yeah, we are paying, and it is coming out. It's
Where?
I'm looking.
I don't see anything worth $8,300.
It's in some other number.
Yeah.
That might be in the miscellaneous
No, it's not 8,300. That's what I was looking for. That's why I looked at the contract, and I think that this contract has another year to go, and when it comes time for it, I think we need to take a look at that, because they'll only come out.
It's probably part of landscape contractual. It's
Service.
probably more than mainscapes. It's probably
No,
both of
that's
those.
118 is what we're paying paying,
Mainscape.
yeah, mainscapes. That's
You know
what the
what?
bunch of their contract is.
Are you sure we are paying it here, or it's not being paid for the HOA?
No, this is Gateway Services contract. This is their proposal and their cost sheets on the back. 2018.
Joe, didn't we look that
How
up?
much is it every month?
That was in the HOA budget at $691 a month? Yeah,
Something
because
like
I
that.
think you asked me about that. I said it was Anchor, the monthly maintenance charge.
Well, they were questioning what HOA is and what they did and how could it be the same thing every month.
No, it's prorated all the way through
Yeah,
and we
it is.
pay it.
It's not the only thing. There's a lot of things in Gateway budget.
Yeah. And the problem is we don't get any service out of them unless we call
No, that's
and
not
we
true.
check it.
That's not true.
What?
They come out on a seasonal basis.
No, they don't. Not by contract. Right here. It says right here. They will come out anytime, only when we call. And they have the listed here of the services they'll do. Now, if they come out, it's because they don't have anything else to do.
Okay. Who signed, is that our contract that we signed it, or is that a Gateway contract?
That's a Gateway
That
contract.
we're just
Yes.
writing in on.
Public records request does wonders when you want to find out what's going on. That has the RFP attached to it also. And it has what they're going to do and all the stuff they're supposed to do. And it says in there, and I talked with Glenn Monday about some trees and made that comment that wish we had something where someone was coming out and checking the trees along Pebblebrook, because some of them, when they need to be trimmed, and someone's got a call, but who's doing a call? So. This, I got it backwards, the proposal on the back side.
I just judging by the tree trimming is under the miscellaneous maintenance under
This
landscape
is-
service.
You're absolutely correct. That's what it is. I'm looking at it right now on the expenditure report. 691.66 under miscellaneous maintenance.
Okay.
Because that was something we were going to be talking about. I was looking at that. Okay, excellent.
And what's the breakdown on?
It's right there under landscape services.
Yep.
Now, we only budgeted for $3,000.
And it's 8,300.
Under tree trimming, where did you find that?
Wasn't on tree trimming. It doesn't really identify. It's miscellaneous maintenance under the landscape services.
Okay.
I'm just keeping it, what's going with that?
Oh, this is your expenditure report. And it's actually on page 3.
And Joe, it was in the 2019 budget, but for some reason it got taken out of the 2020 budget. If you look, you had $11,850.
What I think what happened, I think Chris might be onto something. I think there might have been a year the HOA actually did pay for it, for whatever reason. I can't remember how that happened. But I'm looking at it for this past year, and it's here. This goes back to 10/1/19, and it's right through to 3/31. It's here.
So you need to put that back in the budget.
I agree. Here we go. That's not in here. Good.
8,300 contractual.
Good. All right, put it in. You hear that, Margaret?
I did, do you want to go just a little bit higher, like 8,500? Just
Fine.
a little cushion?
Yeah. Everybody understand that? What we just did?
Yeah.
This is part of the landscape services,
Yeah,
and the bottom one in that section is miscellaneous maintenance.
yeah.
And I'm not sure what happened last year, unless we moved it somewhere else. And I don't see it.
Just on the page.
And you're making it what, 8,000?
Yeah, 8,500.
The one in front of it's from
That's for
Exhibit B. I was looking at that.
Warren, I know I asked Shannon this question specifically, because basically it's the office there that's been main for monitoring it, especially since health hasn't been coming out. I don't know how closely Glenn watches that.
Well, yeah.
But in any case, if you think you need it, we got a call.
Well, I know we had complaint come in, I think it went to Shannon, and then it went down, and I heard about it, and I again went to customer care and said it needs to get done, and I think they got some done, but there's still some more trees that need some work, and I'm gonna get something off to Glenn, and he'll get it taken care of.
Well, I will tell you, that's maybe the way to handle it, but right now Shannon's swamped. She's by herself in that
But-
office.
Warren, is that, there is a contract to have some trees removed, but I was told it was behind Bluestone down to Jewelstone.
I had one.
That, I believe, is with the new company. It has nothing to do with us. That's HOA.
Land care. I just want to make sure we're not talking about the same
I
area.
heard that discussion at the meeting. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's HOA, and JT, correct me if I'm wrong, you would agree with that?
For what's, for what?
The area behind Bluestone and down toward Jewelstone.
Yeah, I know that that's the HOA's area to take care of. I wanted to make sure that wasn't the area that Warren was talking about.
Let me just see this about, whatchamacallit, these guys here. They specialize in tree trimming, and the other landscaping company would not go over 14 feet. These guys have the equipment to do that. That's why we use them.
Which guys?
Lawn
care?
Arbor.
Harbor.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's their business.
That's their business, right.
Well, that's the way.
That's why they come in. And if we need them, then we got.
Our landscaping people will cut anything off a tree as long as they can stand on the ground. Beyond that, we have to get climbers to come in and clean them
And
out.
I think the cutoff is around 12.
Yeah,
14
that's
feet.
expensive.
Yeah. Well, it's expensive work to do.
We got to get the oak trees down at our place, so yeah.
All right. So we just added $8,500, isn't that swell?
Okay.
Street lighting service. Everybody ready for that?
What did that add up to?
No, you have to get a number for that, either JT or Margaret?
Street lighting service?
No, for the landscape services.
Oh, let me add it up.
The 8,500 just blew us out.
Did we leave, line replacement at 15?
Yes.
Yeah,
So it makes it 185.5.
could be. Margaret?
Hold on, I'm doing it now too.
Okay.
Because I had forgot to change the 20 to 15. I've got 185.5.
Okay.
185.5.
Okay. Street lighting services. I got a note to myself here, and I want to make sure. We're paying a fixed amount to FPL for those light fixtures, light poles along the street. And who pays it? Are they charging us sales tax? Are we getting that tax for using your tax collection?
I would imagine so. I'd have to go look at the bill and see.
You just make a note to yourself, just double check. It just came up to me, because I'm looking, because there was an increase once, and I said, well, how could that be? But, yeah, actually, it looks like they're projecting a little bit less this year. We have projected 34,000. It's projected now to hit 34,328. I don't know why that number should change, because it's a fixed amount per pole, not based upon how much electricity we use. And they're responsible for maintenance on it. But
Yep.
If we have two lights that are not working right now in the community, that number just always stays the
it
same.
doesn't change. What we gotta do is contact, to get the address of the number on the bill.
I tried to get one from And the other one, there's no, it's so bad, you can't even get it.
Just get the location.
Get the location.
Yeah,
They'll have
get the
an address,
location.
get the location, it's on such and such street, across from north side, east side, whatever.
They used to come out pretty quick.
Used to. How about that, JT?
Yeah. Not anymore.
Last time I checked, there was two, but, that was before.
19 was 34.6, so why would we make it 34.6? 21.
I lowered it to 34 for a reason.
2020, it was 34. They took the 602 off, and then now we're up to projected at 34, 328.
Or 20.
We'll make it 34.5. 34.
34.5 makes sense.
Okay. But I will say, it should not change. There's no built-in escalator clause in that contract, is there?
Do we have to look at the contract or call them directly?
That's a long-term contract. I think it may be here, but we can have a copy at the office, but we have so much trouble finding contracts in that office. I don't know what to say. So 34.5,
Yeah,
that's the only item in that subsection, so. Roadway maintenance and service. That's been all over the place.
The service.
And service, I'm sorry, repairs, you're right. My reading roadway services and it got slipped in there and stuck into the brain. I'm open to ideas, suggestions, whatever. Now, someone put $10,000 in this for the 2021 budget. Who would that be? Did you do that, Chris? Put that $10,000 number in there?
No, I haven't touched the,
Okay, I don't know where that came from. We spent we budgeted for 4. We did spend 63 the year before, but that was also fixing up some damage from storms. And, boy, the roads.
Well, this is sidewalks too.
That's true. That's true. That's why I thought maybe that Chris might have put the 10 in. I don't know who did, but we do need some sidewalk repairs. We've got roof damage, forcing the concrete walks to lift up, and some other places are cracking.
leave it at 10.
Now, we'll leave it at 10. Oh, jeez. Now I know why the budget's going up so much on the 001 fund, Margaret.
What?
Because you're saying, yeah, spend more. It's okay, make it 10.
I also, the jogging trail is gonna have to be.
Okay, Virginia, I don't know. I'm blaming Margaret.
Yeah, it was Virginia, wasn't
Yeah.
me. And I agree with her though.
Oh, there you go. I was right in the first place. What do the people in this room think?
I was thinking if we did just 6:30, then why would we go more than 7? That's.
Well, yeah, but we
some people
know,
long.
now, I understand that we're scheduled very shortly for some sidewalk work that will hit this year's budget, though, not next year. How serious is that gonna be, Chris, do you know?
I thought I saw the quote they had for those 4 areas at $10,000.
That's where that came
Maybe
from.
that's where it's coming from.
Yeah, but that's 2021 budget, not this year.
Yeah, that's correct.
So I'll have to find out where,
And that's supposed to be taken care of soon, correct?
right.
Where does the repairs of the jogging trail come in? Because that has got to be done. We've got bad, really bad, dangerous spots on that. So
I agree. Well, was the HOA looking at that, or were not at all?
I mean, we will, if it gets brought back up to our attention, but there hasn't been any talk.
When we repaired that the last time, and I know that Shannon did send me something, and I will confess that I put it on the back burner with several very widely diverging estimates, because they were all fixing different things. And I'm not sure who walked with them and who got that estimate and what they told them that we were gonna fix. We may need to revisit that, you know.
As this is not something that you really want to delay a long time,
Well,
so.
I agree with that 100%, Margaret. I think one of the things is that could be expensive. And
It
I'm
would
not
be.
sure we're ready to raise taxes here quite that far, that fast. We have some surplus money from rollover from previous years and the 10,000 that we tend to put in every year. But the fact of the matter is, we could be looking 50 grand or more.
I know we're not replacing the entire jogging trail, but the repairs will probably be
Well,
expensive.
I'm telling you, if you saw the
Yeah,
variation,
but if we're looking at 50 grand every
you must do the whole
repair,
thing.
I would rather just replace for 60, 70.
Yeah. But where does the money come from? Does it all come from here? What we did last time, we used some money from here, but then also the HOA, you tapped into the capital contribution money.
I don't know if we can tap into capital contribution because we're not really contributing. That's more of a repair item.
Not to take it all up, start from new.
For that price, yeah.
Yeah, I
Well, we
think
did
that's,
that last time, and they didn't do the greatest job. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
The roots just grew right back. I don't know what the fix is, but
The fix is removing trees.
now either remove the trees or put the shields in along where they're at.
Right.
The thing is,
The root retardant wasn't used when we replaced that jogging trail.
You can't stop, Chris. Can you stop a tree root?
You put a barrier up and it'll last you 3, maybe 4 years at the most.
They just find their way through it. Mother Nature, the bitch.
you know how many root trees we have to take to stop that? Take down, and how the, and the change in the look of the community?
Well, it would be disgusting. I wouldn't agree with the trees.
I'm sorry, Tom, I didn't hear what you said.
We would not do that.
Yeah, I would be in favor of that.
So what we're talking about, what is your idea? I tell you, this may be a tough point to even discuss right now because the proposals were so varied. And I don't know who, if it was different.
I don't know.
I think she forwarded them to me not that long ago. You know, and all this and everything, it's so hard to get anything done and communicate. And I think the idea was to bring it to this committee, but here we are looking at a budget time. I don't know what to say.
Is there a reason why we do asphalt or can we do concrete?
I think concrete might be tough with that winding path, but it's doable.
With people running, they're gonna wanna run more on the asphalt than they run on the concrete.
It's
The
easier
concrete's
to run
harder
on
on your
asphalt,
knees.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper to replace.
That's why you always have two, you know?
You know, you try to
I'm
get
just
it
saying,
in the right direction.
Joe, how much surplus is there currently?
99,000 carryover. 99,000
Okay.
as
All
of
right.
now.
I didn't mean for that to become a huge issue. I just wanted to remind everybody, repairs are gonna have to.
I forgot about it. It was one of those things that I was gonna throw in the mix at the end here to see what our feelings are, but I will tell you that I'm concerned. I don't see how, even if it was $25,000, which I know that there are some that came in around that number, are we ready to throw 25,000 of that out of this budget or not?
Not this year.
Well,
No, not this year. I'm talking next year.
Well, I mean, even the next year's budget, because the way things are going right now financially, who knows what it's gonna be like after the first of the year? That's the problem.
I'm gonna agree with you, Warren. I don't.
Say that again, Warren.
I think everyone has to be concerned about their budgeting because no one knows what's gonna happen as the year goes on.
For what though?
For the financial stuff.
People paying their bills.
Paying bills is people getting back to work. Yeah. People getting back to work is gonna be a problem to get paid. And I can see us, the HOA having problems on this coming up assessment. I can see a lot of problems. I can see a bunch of people not paying it. There's a lot of bills not getting paid now. And I think that could be the thing. And I think the only thing that's gonna save us, the HOA, is the fact that it's coming, that the money's for
Coming from
repair
that.
stuff is coming through this way.
Assessment in
Yeah.
June that's due July 1st.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
will
think that
say
could be a
this.
problem.
I was pleasantly surprised when I heard how small the number that were past due over 250. That was pretty good. I
Yeah.
think 16, 17, something like that.
Well,
That
I
was
think
April
we just gotta stay on top
That
of
was
it,
April
though, and
1st.
make sure people continue to pay.
But I thought that might have been worse than that.
Yeah. I don't know how many people are unemployed in Gateway or how many people have lost their jobs or whatever, and stuff. So that could be a problem, you know.
Yeah,
It's,
no, it's a concern. It's a concern.
I'll tell you what, how about we don't put any budget money into that right now? We know we have some surplus here. And let's take another look at what the proposals are. And if need be, we can tap in and go and request that the board, and you're listening to this, Margaret, approve, tap it into some of that money in there to make this repair. Otherwise, I think it'll have to come from the HOA.
And recently with the drains through Gateway Services, how much did that end up? The drains that were being taken out and repaired? Is that something that was in the, just for budgeting ideas, how much?
What are we talking about, drains that were taken out?
The concrete drains that were damaged?
Oh, yeah, that's not big money. They're doing that with their own staff.
Is that the category that this is in? Like for road sidewalk, is that the category they put that in?
Yeah.
well, that'd be under this year's budget.
What do you call those drains? Sidewalk drains?
Oh, you're talking about.
The runoff.
Curb and gutter or the-
I call them flumes.
The flumes.
Look,
Those are like, this year's budget, but we will have to do that for a couple more years, right?
I don't think they'll do it for a long time. That was broken when we did the sidewalk. Unless we do the sidewalk and they break equipment and then run over them again. Or break them. But yeah, that stuff should last a long time.
Actually, that was from the sidewalk repair,
It
wasn't it?
was, yes, it was.
How long from the?
It's been sitting there ugly for a long time.
I was just thinking, we did the asphalt when Paul was president. So how many years ago was that?
it's 4:30, guys.
Okay, let's go.
You're telling me those flumes never been repaired since then?
Let's, road sidewalk maintenance repairs. Do you want to go 5, do you want to go 10? Give me a number.
Do 10.
I hear a couple of 10s out there and from the cheap seats.
That's fine.
Okay, 10 it is. Okay, continue. I don't hear you smiling, Jim. Okay, we got street signs and decorative poles.
Still on that one?
Well, actually, we've done a lot of work. It's not all done, but it is a work in progress, and we're not terrible. It is getting better. Now, in here, for some reason, is 10,000 already. I don't know if I want to stick with that number.
Do 5.
That's what I'm gonna fix the 10 poles.
I know. I don't think we need,
Said a lot
well,
there.
we're not replacing the poles these days. We're fixing it. It's a lot less than 1,000.
Oh, yeah, well, but there's some.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no, 5. Just a-
That's what I got written down. How was 5 sound?
Sounds good.
All right, Virginia says it's
Oh.
good.
I don't have that broken out. I don't have a separate line item on my spreadsheet for decorative poles.
Well, I will tell you, the next item is capital outlay.
Yeah,
And do you have that on your sheet?
I do.
I'm thinking the way it is, was that not for the street signs in the first place? Isn't that what that money was supposed to be?
Probably. I'm just saying on my spreadsheet, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I can't see all of, on the screen, I can't see all of the spreadsheet the way it is. Can you kind of scroll down a little bit
I
on
held
that?
it up on my laptop. It wasn't the same thing either, I agree.
She asked me-
I'm not even using it for. She's not seeing what we're seeing. She's seeing an image that was sent out by Stephen. I'm looking for suggestions, capital outlay.
The
Chris, do you-
total roadway services that I have is 15,000.
Oh,
But
man.
Is
we-
that what you have?
Right now, without counting that 5. What do you want to do with that 5? You want to figure that's what we'll just cross out capital outlay and put that there?
Oh, So
Well,
let me ask the question. Do you have a grand total under that of 20,000 or 15,000?
15, there's 25 here right now.
25.
But if you add the 10 from road sidewalk maintenance repairs and 5 from street signs, you got 15. Now, the capital outlay is still sitting on my sheet right here. Do I cross it out? Do we leave it and go to 20?
Haven't used any money since whenever.
I know. I think that could be a coding problem, that people didn't know what to put under that.
They put it somewhere, so.
Well, I mean,
But I'm saying it's somewhere, so why budget something that they're putting somewhere else?
well, asking for suggestions. Does anybody have anything?
Well, I think you just covered that. And the two left items, and if we haven't used it, why would it be 0?
Because I think we didn't use it because people didn't charge things against it that should have been. You know what I mean? Maybe that, I'm trying to remember why we put that there.
Categories, it makes sense.
Yeah. Capital outlay. Capital outlay may have been for new signs. I don't remember for sure. Margaret, what do you think?
I can't, I wish I could see the spreadsheet that you're looking at, because I can't. All I have is roadway sidewalk maintenance and repairs, 10,000, capital outlay 5. I have nothing about street signs.
Well, on your sheet, call capital outlay street signs, and we'll just cross it off here. How's that?
Okay,
Okay?
We're crossing off the street signs?
No, it's crossing off capital outlay. She's gonna write street signs under where it says capital outlay.
So that line will be gone.
Yeah, that line will be gone. We're gonna make this 15,000, okay?
That makes sense.
Public safety services. Here's the big one, the big argument, and they're trying to make a big deal out of on the new board members, is that hidden in here somehow was a charge from AET. And we don't even know what it was for. What were they supposedly monitoring? And Chris says that he sees it going all the way back to 2009.
Yeah, that was when it started.
Don't know. I just don't know.
What does AT&T say?
AET.
I think they put an inquiry into them, and right now we still haven't had a resolution because that was a company that, they acquired. So when they acquired it, and then the records and why, we're trying to figure it out.
When was Joe, when was his business in there? What year?
I'm gonna tell you something. Joe had nothing to do with this.
I
This
mean,
was,
I'm saying what year was his LLC in business for us?
I think he started around 12, 13.
Yeah, somewhere.
And.
No, it's earlier than that.
Then 13. he
Well,
was-
Margaret was 11. Margaret was, when were you president, Margaret? From 9 to 11?
Yeah,
So then Joe Tarja followed you 11 to 13?
yeah.
And I followed him 13 to 15 and 12. All right,
But
Well, if Margaret was president, then she's the fault.
okay, it's all your fault.
Chris, when you said that this goes all the way back to 2009, have you actually seen spreadsheets where this was paid out in 09, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way through the years?
Payment being made.
Yes.
I agree.
And that's when that payment started, and it was the DevCo or the
DevCon.
DevCon.
That's on.
That's when it started.
And
I just don't understand why we're paying it here.
I walked
that
through-
was all supposed to have been canceled, and the Cam we had at the time was Kim.
Yeah, she was the most reliable.
I think John just did.
Wasn't there another company, or was it DevCon, that we kept on canceling and they wouldn't accept our cancellation? And then they
I don't remember that, but I want to see, Chris, I'd actually like to see where Stoneybrook has actually paid them every month for all through those years? Because I have a really hard time believing that.
We've been paying them the last year, I'll tell you that. I know that.
I can pull the file from this year. Beyond past that, we'd have to look at digital records.
I have some things in my file,
Yeah.
and it's been for the last year. And we're not gonna send them another check, guys, correct?
No,
Those, yes, we're not gonna send them another check, or no, we're not.
no, we're not going to, we aren't going to send them.
Now, when was the last check sent to them? Is there one more gonna show up on this account that went out in the mail already, or
I
what?
think it was the last month, and then when you brought it up, that's when we put a stop to it.
What's the question? Okay. Glad to hear that.
Do we need to send a letter with our attorney, from our attorney?
Well, let's give them a chance to respond to their inquiry, I think. And we may need to get some more numbers. If Margaret maybe get her hands on just how much was paid directly from the 004 fund over all these years. You know, we'll see. I will tell you this, and I think some of you will remember, I questioned that utility bill last year and made a joke out. I actually said, you know, how much electricity can they use in that little building? But it buried in there was the ADT.
Was there a system in the guardhouse?
No.
Oh, okay,
I've
okay.
never been in the guardhouse. This is definitely, without doubt, the system that was in the clubhouse. And I do not know how it got chosen. I know back in '09, we were broke. And when we were looking how to do things and maybe.
What company do we have now for
I
security?
don't know the name, to be honest. I can't just throw a name out there.
Okay.
I just don't know.
But it's not ADT.
No, it's much less than one.
Yeah, I think our alarm system right now for the clubhouse is $419 annually.
No, I don't
So
know.
we're paying $419 a year, while we've been paying $155 a month that we don't even use. They're not even like 155.81, like what's the 81? Why is one 155 and the other one's 155.81? And then there's 158.09.
And price increase. I know. I did the math on that. I got the numbers written down, and I was looking at that. And the reason I did the math on that was because the actual for 2019 was 3367. I don't know why, but we kicked it up to 4,500 for 2020. Why did we do that? I don't know. The actual so far this year was about 1,600, 1,599. And if you project that out, it probably would have been higher because they raised their price. It would be over 3,200. We're not going to pay them more money this year. What we paid, we have paid. If we stop paying them and don't pay them anything next year, there'll be a savings of about $1,870. Now, if we look at what it costs us this year for electricity and ADT, and it's about 3,200, I'd like to knock that down, take $1,800 off of that and bring it down to maybe 1,500, 1,800, whatever you're comfortable with in that gatehouse utility slot. Caroline, does everybody follow where I'm coming up with that number?
18.
15, 18, somewhere around there, I'm thinking.
Call.
Lowering it down to 1,500?
15 or 18, because the actual this year, it looks like it would be about 3,200, a little bit over. And
For utilities?
for utilities, with
I got
ADT,
Well, with ADT.
with ADT, so take ADT down there, I'm knocking it down to about 1,800.
Are you sure the utility
What do
doesn't
they-
include
Oh,
telephone?
I'm sorry, what was that?
The utilities don't include telephone?
It could. I mean, how much electricity can they use? That's more electricity than I use, and I have a pool.
I'm saying we have phone lines out there that we pay for. So are you
That
sure
hasn't
that,
been reduced. We don't have the big phone bills that we used to. We don't pay for the whatchamacallit, the line that runs from for monitoring or for the phone line that goes through
What phone company do we
the
have?
internet. We don't pay for internet out there. It should be with the community.
What, we have Comcast phone, or do we have someone else?
Yeah, we have a Comcast.
Okay, so that's
We
computer.
have voice over internet out there.
Yeah, that's computer through the internet. So
Yeah,
I'm getting phones here.
yeah, but the internet's getting paid, it's piggybacked with the HOA.
Yeah, and the phone system is probably about $29 a month.
It's commercial, it's worth that.
Oh, that's right, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Our contract with Comcast would be 25, but it's commercial.
Yeah.
In any case,
Right.
what's that?
Get moving.
Pull the number out of your butt, let's move on.
All right, fine. 1,800 it is. Everybody all right with that?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Here's the big one. Here's the one that's gonna be, Terry at the meeting on Monday night said, use the latest number from our, security company, which right now is a little over $14,000 a month. And that's part of the negotiation. We are still negotiating, and I guess we'll waiting for the final bid or proposal from the last company, Margaret, in the search for security. Is that
We're
correct?
waiting for the final interview, which I think I have scheduled for June 5th. I
So
think.
I asked at the meeting,
But
I
I'm
asked
still-
Terry, give me a number to bring here today. He said, go with the number. It's around 14.
Go with the number that from last year. I
Exactly.
agree with
Well,
that.
how it's finished, because there was an increase. And I put down 14.2, comes out to $170,000.
That's an increase.
So that's an increase. That's the big nut right here, okay? That's what the big increase is gonna be. And that's a real number, unless they actually do, I know how on the committee, I should know. We do renegotiate with another company and lower that number. I don't know if that's possible or not, but it may be lower. I don't think it'd be higher than 170 though.
No, I don't. I agree.
So you're going at 170?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
$18,000 more.
They gave him a big raise. And that was after a raise in the middle of the year.
Let them pay for it. You have a contract that says one thing, and if they want to go beyond that, let the HOA pay for it. They all that money sitting around. That's total poo-poo when you think about the way they go around trying to get raises for these people. And if they come for a raise, they should just put it out for bid.
Well, that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah,
This
well,
is out for bid.
But they should have done that before they got into all this other gobbledygook about trying to raise this guy and that guy because he's a nice guy and stuff. That's not our business. I've worked with security companies too long. I've never seen one operate that way.
I think, well, prior to this crash as a result of the COVID, unemployment was like 3% around here. And they were having trouble getting decent people and they had to pay more money. That's what was going on. They came to us, as I understand it.
I don't know if they came to us, it was the point of just when your market rate for a security company is at, I'm just gonna use a figure, $13 is market rate and we're on 11.
But we were paying more than that.
I'm just using,
Yeah, you're
but we were below.
No, and that's,
But now that unemployment's higher now,
yeah.
like when we got our last events coordinator, we actually paid her a little bit more just because that's what market rate is. But now that it's COVID, market rate's now dropped because unemployment.
She's got it,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with that, but why is our board negotiating with, well, we're gonna pay this guy this much and this guy that much and going around the shoot this?
170 or not?
170.
One
Let's
second.
move on.
That's too
I
high.
agree. And, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't set that number, okay? We have some repairs and maintenance. We are running big arrears in that particular item. And, we had changed that equipment out front there, and I thought it would be going down, because you think you wouldn't have any more trouble with all that new money we spent.
Yeah. What was the 170?
$170,000 for security contractual service.
Oh, all right, I gotcha.
We got 1,800 for gatehouse utilities. This gatehouse repairs and maintenance, there is one little other caveat here. We've got some stupid people drive through and break our fences and gates. And I brought it up to Shannon today, so are you listening, two board members here? I said, what happens when we get reimbursed for that money? Or if there's an insurance claim, or the guy who manually just physically broke it, we charge him for the repair. Where's that money going? And she said, oh, it's going into our budget. I said, well, if we're paying for it here, we should be getting that money here to replace the outlet. So she came
That's
back
correct.
to Chris.
I agree with that.
Yep. Chris, and said, well, can you get me invoices for what we paid to them?
Sure.
For repairs, these repairs. Is that possible?
Yeah, they're all in a file in there. I see them every month, about $350 for the arms getting wrecked.
Yeah, I agree. We would need to put that back.
If we're getting that, if what she wants is us to give them the payouts for these repairs, and they'll try to align that and match that up with who they're getting money from. If they have gotten reimbursed. And then we can make a claim that money comes to us.
So we're gonna stay with 4,000,
I don't see how.
or low or high,
What's that?
to low or high.
I would think it might have to go up a little bit. Right now, your projection 95.52, and I don't know if that's a real number, but we're 5,000 right now through 6 months.
Well, they
27.
just doubled that, so.
They just doubled the number, that's all.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe nobody breaks anything, or if they do, we get all the money back. I don't know.
Well,
You don't remember the name of that firm?
so right now, we're looking at replacing a scanner in the
Is it
gatehouse.
Ranco?
Ranco.
We're looking at replacing a
All right.
scanner in the gatehouse. And is that coming out, Margaret, is that scanner coming out of the old Ford, or is that coming out of Gateway Services HOA?
That comes out of the HOA.
All right, so.
The software, the computers and that kind of thing are HOA. The transponders and the access cards are all HOA.
So just looking at some of the repairs from Ramco, I mean, there's 145, 952 for an arm replacement, 654. Gate arm repair, 178. AC repair.
That's the CDD. Can
No,
you guys,
So
It's-
one of the
we're getting
entry sign-
445,
I'll report back, you can go, I'll take it.
The HOA or the Stoneybrook entry sign and gatehouse repair, that was 1770. That was repaired by Mr. Foley, so that's a charge that was repaired that we probably won't see for a very long time. So that's why one of the gatehouse repairs and maintenances went up almost $2,000 was because of a repair for the sign. So let's keep in mind of that. Because that's not gonna be a yearly thing.
Yeah. I
Right,
agree.
6,000.
Well, we're definitely gonna have a deficit, but the net for the whole budget will probably be okay for this current year. I was gonna suggest 5 even.
5?
Want to go 6? I don't know.
5. Let's do 5 then.
And the reason I brought that number up is I'm hoping to get some of this money back, and then it should be reflected as a, somehow in that line item. I don't know how we do that, but.
Make an in and out fund.
Yeah, that could be what do they call it, journal entry.
Yeah, 5.
Okay, well, I'm about done. We're right down to the nitty gritty here. And what does that add up to?
so are you doing 5?
Yes.
Yeah, 176.8, yeah, we're at 5.
76,800.
176.8.
Well, it's the year so far is 418,850. The total, is that including with the $10,000 miscellaneous or revenue reserve?
It's so far.
Well, yeah, that's at the end.
We don't have the last 50 yet.
Well, I agree we keep the reserve at 10,000 like we've always done.
Yeah, I agree with that. What are miscellaneous collections? I'd like to know.
I'll have to go after we get our
We budgeted 1199, which is a strange number. I don't believe that number. I think that was plugged in.
Probably balanced out the budget better.
Margaret, you got any idea on that?
I was trying to remember, I know, I think it has to do with the county, but
Well, maybe it does, but.
we ask this every year and we get,
Well, I think it's a tax credit from the assessment, I think, or some type of tax.
yeah, I was gonna say, it's something we paid.
It's already factored in on revenues, you know, if for early payment, that's sitting there. That's a tax.
But I think this is
property
different
appraisal.
from that.
Well, I don't know what miscellaneous collection fees are. Do you have any idea on that one, Chris? Last page.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it. I really don't. The collection fee, unless it could be reduced revenues from people, you know, paying their tax bill and they get the discount, but then.
Yeah, but that's only factored in on the other page.
I don't know, I'll have to ask
That's right
them.
near the top in revenue. That's collected property appraisal. And there's interest earnings up there. I guess that's money sitting in the bank. That's part of the revenue.
I know we ask this every year and I don't remember from year to year. So I'll see if I can get a hold of Stephen.
I don't understand why we would ever budget though. 1199. That's a number I would propose.
The fee that we pay to the county, that's why we budgeted. Because you don't know how many people are going to take the 4%, the 3%, the 2%, the 1%. You don't know when people are.
That's reflected in that number. This is for collections, it looks like. And are we paying to collect money when people don't pay their taxes or something? I don't understand.
Well, I'm calling Stephen Bloom now.
Okay.
And I'll follow up with the ADT. We were in touch with them and had to provide a 30-day cancellation notice. We're getting details on it, but their service rep said, from looking at the charges, it appears to be video recording equipment.
Video recording equipment.
Yeah, like security monitor video. That's just what she said from the charge. It looked like it would be a video recording. We're getting more of the details and we're providing them.
Is that the recorder stuff they have in the, or had in the gym?
Well, we have cameras out.
It's going to have hours. Oh, not quite. It's not.
Anybody monitoring them.
Would they be the cameras that take the pictures of the license plates, et cetera, coming through?
That we got to ask, but she said that's what it looks
That's
like.
what she said it looks like from the monthly charge and that rate is it's some kind of video recording.
Not that I know aware of.
It also could be when you go through the gate and swipe the card, do they keep that or does your gate company keep
We
it?
have a computer and a program software that handles that.
Okay.
I have to say right now, I'm not buying that one. We need to talk to people, maybe even Joe Tarshik has some knowledge of this, for cameras at the front gate. I don't know of those cameras ever being monitored by anybody outside of the community. I really don't.
Well, if they record them, might just be recording.
Yeah, but everything's on a DVR drive in our clubhouse. So we don't have a cloud server.
Thanks. Bye.
Oh, we're getting to the bottom of it. They couldn't even tell us.
Why is this guardhouse costing us so much money that we don't know about these fees?
The $1,199 is the fee that the tax collector charges us to collect the money through the tax rolls. And they have the ability to charge up to 2%, Stephen said, but they rarely do. And that's why it may change from year to year, but it's a fee, it's a collection fee for it to be.
Okay, we rationalized it, I'm sure, saying this we're gonna perfect that one way.
Maybe change the title of the number to tax collector collection fees.
Okay. No, you're right. You probably have asked that before. It does sound familiar.
Can we change the title?
Yeah, well, that's what it says, miscellaneous collection fees.
No.
Well, you can say tax, for tax.
We don't have to.
Yeah, there you go, there you go.
That's confusing.
Great, you're right. All right. It looks like we budgeted for $11.99, but we didn't spend that much this year. I don't think we need to make it $12.45 though.
1,000 even?
1,000 even.
All right, that's two for 1,000. Works for me. Everybody okay with 1,000?
Good.
All right. Well, that's 11,000 right there.
429,850.
429,850?
Oh, I got 439. What am I missing? I've got 439,850.
I've got 429.
That revenue reserve stays at 10?
Did you take out the reserve revenue reserve?
In your,
For what?
Different.
for revenue reserve.
Yeah.
And you're still 10,000.
You removed that?
He did that. He says he did.
Why?
No, we didn't remove it. The revenue reserve is still there, or the miscellaneous reserves, or the revenue reserve is still there.
Okay, so you've got 11,000 as the total under that section.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna go back up and just ask totals. I've got 7050 for operations.
Right.
I've got 185,500 for landscape.
Yep.
I've got 34,500 for street lighting.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got 25,000 for roadway services.
I've got 15.
I got
15.
15.
15.
Okay, so the street signs is 5, not 15.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, that's where it is. Okay, now I have 429,850.
Okay.
429 what?
429,850. Yeah, divide that up, what we come out with?
778 homes.
Yep. This is the first time we're doing 778, isn't it? One time.
We did last year.
Did we?
We had to, because we had a homeowner that owned it.
What's that come out to?
550, 250?
He was in there before May of
Yeah, 552.51. To be exact, for the roundhouse.
You know, they sold the Door House.
oh yeah? Good. That's gotta be,
So 552.51, what was we last year?
I don't know.
I don't know, but let's make a motion, 5 o'clock.
Can I just ask a question on the revenue reserve?
Oh, I got a lot more stuff.
Because it wasn't.
I'm leaving.
Last year. This is something that we have to keep. right?
Yeah, we're keeping that just, there's several reasons. Keep that account growing a little bit, and it also, some people have to shut some up.
What was the total here?
552.51.
No. The four.
429,850.
What?
429,850.
I heard from a little birdie that there was some board member, Chris, that asked for some kind of history of our committee and when the board members were appointed and whatnot.
Wasn't any appointment. It was a request for like the charter and how the committee was formed and what their duties were.
Public records request.
Yeah, I'd be happy to forward it to you. And we pulled out like 3 older documents where they had the committee assigned. I think there was one from Al Abdo that changed something minor in it, but I'll forward the 3 documents to you if you like.
Yeah, the email, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's just, here's what the committee's formed. Here was their charter and purpose.
Is this for this committee?
Yes.
I have some original documents somewhere in my folder too, but when was the official date at the beginning of this?
I don't know. I didn't read them.
Okay.
I just responded to the request.
Exactly. One in the network. Anything else?
We have no members of the audience except for Margaret.
Yeah.
Margaret,
All right, so we got numbers. What's the next step?
We convey those to Stephen Bloom so he can put it in the final budget that'll go to the board June 4th. And that budget will be conveyed to the property appraiser and the tax collector for the preliminary notices. And from that point on, June 4th, the budget can only be reduced. It cannot be increased.
Correct. Margaret, you okay with that one?
Yep.
Can I count on you to forward that to Stephen?
Yep.
I appreciate it. We all appreciate it.
That's no problem.
I'm going to take a motion.
Okay, second on it.
Sure. Well, yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Margaret.
Street signs, they look great. Of course, what started happening about the time of the chaos, a logging ordinance at the clubhouse. But the day that it actually happened, what I knew was going to happen, I was house sitting, exiting. So I came down Stoneybrook, and the guys have the sign, they're going to put a speed limit sign on Stoneybrook across from Bluestone. So I got out of the car, not dressed, and I said, what are you doing? This all we're doing signs today. So I discussed with him, that sign can't go there, it has to go, down Bluestone. And we both looked and said, oh, that's about how far, we were kind of guessing where I thought it was gonna go originally.
Mhm.
So then I left them, guys were great, really nice, doing an install and removal. So I went back home, down Gemstone, and I looked up and I go, the sign's still, where in the hell did they get the sign? So I jumped out of my bed and I drove down there, found out they had taken off the sign, crossed the on Pellebrook, picked it up and taken it down. The sign was still there, so I had to get out and talk to them again. They were really great. So went and picked up that sign. So if somebody noticed that the new sign that was there now looks like an old sign that needs to be painted, all that was going on. And the only thing that I misinterpreted, I presumed there would be some kind of a temporary sign there, so I did do a lot of conversing, trying to figure out how we could get temporary signs, because it ended up being like 3 weeks. So if we ever do something like this in the future, I think we need to know that's part of the plan. To put a temporary sign.
Anticipate that. Okay.
But they look right now.
All right. Appreciate it. Quick question. Somebody, this is a couple of years ago, when Mike was here. And I think it was Mike. And we tried to talk about getting a stop sign down on Bluestone. And what we did do, we painted the crosswalk.
Right.
Are we still being taped?
We haven't adjourned yet, so we're still.
We need to
We had a motion and a
Okay, I'm
second.
sorry, yeah, they're walking out.
Sure.
No, not technically. I asked for a motion and-
A second, and
No, I didn't know, I know we're not
Make a
adjourned.
motion, please.
Do you want to adjourn?
Yeah, we want to.
Oh, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Thomas made a motion to adjourn, second by
I'll second it.
Time is 5:03.
and Warren Davies, and all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. We'll adjourn the meeting. Then we gotta shut things off. Can you just,